after nearly 18 months since I first designed my video card for my 8-bit computer, I've finally got a PCB made for it. I'm not totally happy with my design. There are a number of problems and errors on it. The layout isn't that great. I laid it out a lot like it was on the breadboard, which is probably a mistake. There's lots of empty spaces everywhere. I forgot to put in a large electrolytic capacitor for smoothing the power, and I didn't put in thicker wires or thicker tracks for power rails like the VCC rail, and I've got a bit missing here, which is for the ground plane. But strangely enough, I put it together and it works. So here it is, populated with the chips and connected to my crazy small computer VGA, and as you might see, there's some bodge wires here. What I did, I connected these are the counter chips, 161 counter chips. I connected the terminal count to CEP rather than to CET, which is that one there and that there. So I had to modify, pull out the pins and solder some wires on. Another thing I did was for this ROM here, I had the VCC and ground around the wrong way. All the other pins were right, so I've had to bodge some wires there. This is a latch chip, a 173, and I wired the reset high rather than low, so it was continually resetting. And yeah, I forgot to put in an electrolytic capacitor and the VCC tracks, same width as everything else. But strangely enough, once I did these bodges, I turned it on, connected it up. It works really well. Right, let's turn it on and see what happens. And there you go. You got the random data in there. Just load in a picture. There you go. Got the Gordian flinch, and yeah, so far I've looked at it and it's very stable. Pixels very well defined. There's no seems to be interference or anything like that. I'm really pleased with what's come out, and it's actually a lot better than the breadboard version, and that's not really surprising. Clear the screen, you just get a blank screen. You think, well, yeah, obviously, but on the breadboard one, you've got lots of lines and things, and sometimes bits of colour coming out. So that shouldn't be there, and that's probably down to the limitations of breadboards. What I particularly like is I'll just pick it up, and just the text output. Now you see on there, I've got it on a wide screen, so it looks a bit distorted in the camera. That's so I could get everything in. But all very well defined pixels in the text. On the breadboard version, sometimes there was slight timing. It seemed to be slightly timing problems, where parts of the letter was missing, just like a screen pixel width, not a whole character pixel width, and funny colors and strange sort of lines, and on here it looks great. I'm really pleased. So yeah, so if you made yourself something on the breadboard and there's some funny things going on in it, and it doesn't look quite right, then when it actually comes to put it on a PCB, it can cure a lot of the problems. One thing I found with this one was because there's a lot of chips altogether, it means that if I try and just power both boards from the USB UART, and take the power from my laptop, basically, you do get glitches, but only tiny little ones, sort of usually on the first column of the screen, and usually only in particular places. I thought there was a problem with the design, but it actually turns out to be a power problem. And because I got an external power supply as well, because I can, there's a little jumper here that you can change on here to either use external power or its own, or the USB power. Once you put that power in, this is only a 2 amp 5 volt power supply, and it looks perfect, and it's been really stable as well. And I can run some more stuff on here. Like my line drawing program. Like that, and draws the lines really well, quite fast. I haven't seen any glitches at all. I did maybe see it when it was doing some scrolling. It wasn't reading the memory, but I was fiddling about with the wires at the time, so that could have been something to do with it. So everything seems to work really well. And yeah, I have designed a second revision, which is basically just to remove the glitches from the board, so I don't have the not the glitches, the mistakes I made on the board. So I could just solder that all together and not have to have any bodge wires. But yeah, I still don't really like the layout, so I'm not sure if I'm going to go for that, or I'm going to move some of the chips around so it's a bit more compact. But yeah, this is the very first PCB I've ever designed. It's quite a challenging one, because there's lots of components. You know, for my first try, you know, it made a lot of mistakes, but I thought, well, if I don't try it, I'll never learn. If it comes back and there's problems, sort out the problems. You know, if you can't get it to work at all, then do a second version. No, you know, at least knowing what you did wrong. You know, be more careful, basically. You know, double check everything. And yeah, so it was a good learning experience, and I'm very pleased with the results, except for having to do all those bodges. Let me know what you think. Thanks very much for watching. Bye.